What's going on, Facebook and YouTube? How you doing? What's up, Instagram? Hello, top of the evening. I hope everybody is having a great time. I'm gonna zap for a little bit. Just got back from FitCon, from Big Techs, from a zone of freedom. Figured it would be a good time to yell, say hello. What's going on? Yo, what's going on? What's up, Callie? How you doing? What's the good word? What's the good word? What's up, Jake? How are you? Oh, you guys really can't hear me? What's up, Margie? How you doing? Yo, what's up, Ryan? Big Ray. Yo, if you can hear me on Facebook and YouTube, send me a thumbs up. The mic was muted a second ago as I was getting started, but if you can hear me on Facebook and YouTube, say what's up. What's up, Ohio? How's it going? What's up, everybody? A little Sunday bag of rice, a little egg sandwich, a little egg sandwich, tip of the cap. Always a great time to yell. You know how it is. What's up? What's going on? What's up, Chooks Official? How you doing? Una Carmen, what's up? What's up? I'm doing well. Tip of the cap. Saw a lot of freedom this weekend. Figured it would be a good time as any to come on and just scream about it. You know how it is. The government's trying to shut down Bitcoin, according to Riley on Facebook. That's interesting. Who could have called that? Me. But yeah, tickle the bag. Yeah, I mean, it only makes sense. I mean, all of a sudden, the Federal Reserve Bank and every single structure that ever existed ever is going to be foiled by BitClam. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen. But hey, there's been a lot of news articles I've talked about that. Yo, thanks for being here. What's going on? What's up, Marie? How you doing? What's up, Myrtle Beach? How's it going? Yo, so I just wanted to talk about a couple things. I'm not gonna go for like 1,000 hours as is customary. As is customary over here, you know how it goes. But I did want to come on and just address some thoughts about the tickling of the proverbial bag that went on in Big Techs. For anybody that does not know, I was just in Fort Worth, Texas, for the last couple of days for FitCon. Saw Tommy Vex perform, went to a music festival, experienced a fair amount of freedom. And go figure that. Tickle your bag. Now, who would have thought? Who could have thought that in the land of the free, the home of the brave, you could actually be free and see people being brave? What is it? Who could have thunk it? Who could have thunk it, you bags of garbage? Oh, man. I did a live stream while I was in Texas with Ian. With Ian Wendt, we talked about eggs. We talked about me starting an OnlyFans, specifically of my bag. It got great success, and I'm pleased to announce I will be starting it next week. It'll be beanbag photos from a variety of different angles and different settings. It'll be $39.99 a month, and it'll be called Secure the Beanbag. Biggie's here. Biggie's coming in to say what's up. It'll be great. Thanks for coming in, Biggs. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. So if anybody didn't see that live, feel free to go watch it. It's a good couple hour waste of your time, and it'll punch you in the fleshy fun bridge. Look, I gotta get it back together. I haven't talked all day, but I was just getting a snooze in. I literally took naps. I took actual naps. That's what I do. Take a nap. So listen, here's a couple of thoughts. Here are a couple of things. Okay. I did get a couple duck pictures. That's asking. All right, listen. Here's the situation. I go to Texas, went to FitCon. FitCon was awesome. Great experience. Had a great time. Met some cool people. Got recognized in the wild, which was very nice. If you or anybody you know was there, you came up to me, you said hello, shared some nice words with me. I really do appreciate that. A couple people took photos with me, which was really cool. You know, it's pretty interesting having people come up to you in real life and be like, yo, really appreciate your content, really appreciate what you do. It feels really good. So thanks to everybody that came up and said what up. If this is an open message to anybody in the universe, if you ever see me somewhere, just yell Pompeo and come say what up. I'm just a human being, and I love to meet people. It always feels nice and good to see real human beings in the real world being like, yo, you tickled my bag last week. you tickled my brain bag, and then just kick me in the grundle, and we can just walk into oncoming traffic and yell at the moon, and that would be great. So that would be fantastic. So thank you for everybody that came up to me and said what up. I really appreciate that. It's an interesting experience, to say the least. I got to say, people are like, yo, and you're just like, oh, fuck yeah. So that is a good time. I do enjoy that. I think including FitCon, I think I'm up to maybe 14 recognitions out in the real world. People approaching and being like, yo, are you that bag tickler? Are you that bag tickler Instagram yelling person? And I'm just like, you don't say. Yes, I sure am, you bag of rice. So anywhom, listen. So this is the message that I wanted to share, or the whatever that I wanted to impart as a result of going to big techs and seeing people be free. I went to a music festival in Texas, just outside of Dallas, called Ubbi Dubbi Festival. There was probably between 30 to 40,000 people there. You're talking, it was an 18-plus event, so who knows how old the people were, but they were probably ranging somewhere in the range of 17 to probably as high as maybe like 40. I saw different people around. It was generally a younger crowd, probably most people in their 20s and early 30s. But the thing about it that was so profound, aside from there being a bunch of music and everybody dancing outside and having fun, is there was pretty much not a diaper as far as the eye could see. And being at a music festival and seeing probably 30 or 40,000 people chilling outside with each other, right next to each other, hugging, laughing, having a good time, dancing, exercising, being in the sun, like drinking water, having fun and smiling and being joyful, was a sight to see. It was a sight for sore eyes. It was a sight for a sore bag, to say the least, just to fill you in. Because when you have people, when like I go on the Instagram, and I see people that I know like sitting around a table in their home with like members of their family wearing diapers, like playing checkers, I'm just like, yo, like, what are we even doing? And like, I understand it's your right to tickle your own bag at home and wear your diaper and all of that. But I got to admit, it was quite interesting and quite a sight to see so many people outside enjoying their life and having fun and just breathing fresh air, just raw dogging a fresh gulp of air consistently over the course of the day in the sunshine, dancing, listening to music, and having a good time. So it was just yet another reminder that in a lot of ways, America is back, baby. It's back, corn pop. And like, people are pissed or whatever, and they're like, oh, goo, like, where was Dr. Felt? Like, people are such a bag of garb, and they're just like, oh, if I can't have fun, you can't have fun. And it's just like, yo, it just is a reminder that like, not as many people are as afraid of this as they make it out to be, and that there was 30, 40,000 people just outside having a good time and smiling and laughing. And the cases and all of that garbage in big techs are extremely low. It's lower than it's ever been, but nobody cares. And then in places like Canada, and then in places like Canada, you have lockdowns that are more egregious than they've ever been all across the mainstream news media. Still to this day, it's fear. The variant, bag of garbage, Dr. Fauci. It's like, yo, fuck off. So it's just like, it gave me such a great amount of joy to see that many people in the same place, just enjoying their life. And it just reminds you that people are not as afraid as they're making it out to seem, and that we can solve this by just being cognizant and making your own decisions about how you choose to live your life. What an interesting concept. Like, consider how you should handle your own life. Wow, what a weird thing. That's so strange. What a bag tickler. Who could even imagine such a thing? Meanwhile, people are like, you need a passport. You can go get yourself a burger from White Castle, and you get yourself a donut. Or did you get the juice? Then you're permitted to come into this establishment. It's like, this is trash. And I just think it's very funny and very sad and very garbly that this is continuing, because people are a little fed up with it there, Jack. But whatever. Whatever. Who cares? Who cares about the truth? Who cares about what actually happens? Who cares about people being free? Who cares about young people going out and living their life? No big deal. That's totally fine. It should be illegal. Whatever. No big deal. It's fine. So I just hope that I think there was massive protests. In addition to that, there was I think it was a UFC event that took place in Tampa, Florida over the weekend that had I believe a full stadium, an entirely packed stadium full of people, arena for this fight, diaper free, which I think is great. You should have the right to be able to go and do that. You should make your own decisions, whatever. Then we had this music festival, and I think that these things passing without outrage and everybody just freaking out is just a further sign that we may be on our way to just more freedom. Yet you still have Joey Basement, Krusty, and all these psychopaths saying things like, maybe on July 4th you can have a hot dog alone with your friends in your backyard. You and two friends can have a good hot dog. You and your friends can make a cheeseburger on the grill in your backyard. You and three friends that all got the juice can sit in lawn chairs 25 yards away from each other while one person with a space helmet on can cook the burgers and dogs with gloves on while he sprays Lysol on the hamburger patty, and then you can all eat it. Bite Lysol. Have yourself a good, hearty, American sanitized hot dog on July 4th if we're lucky. If we're lucky, you and six friends can sit a football field away from each other and have a good, warm American hot dog on July 4th. If we're lucky, if everybody gets the juice. 750 million doses of the juice have been administered. It's like, you're psycho and old, Joe. Retire. Krusty, no one likes you. Your laugh is garbage. Get a new laugh. Get a new laugh. You're the border czar. You're worse. You're the worst person ever. Oh, cool. You're terrible. Your laugh is garbage. Learn to laugh. I don't know. Learn how to laugh. Whatever. Who out there is friends with Krusty not telling her laugh's terrible? How did you go your entire life without anybody telling you your laugh is trash? I'm just saying. You would think that one time, like in a slanderous conversation, if she said something mean, somebody would be like, yo, Krusty, your laugh's trash. You know what I mean? Like, you would think that one friend in her entire life would be like, you got a garbage laugh. But I don't know. Probably not. I'm just saying. You got to question your friends if you have a garbage laugh. I'm just saying. If you out there know somebody that has a garbagey laugh and you don't tell them, you're not a great friend. I'm just saying. Like she did something not so nice, like she took the last hot dog at the party and it was your hot dog. You wrote your name on the hot dog, and Krusty took it, and she's like, and she's just laughing, and someone's like, you got a garbage laugh, and they just leave the party. I mean, you would think that at least one time in her entire life this would come up. So it's just like, she probably has a low caliber quality of friend, probably a low quality group of friends, just saying. Like, no one's going to let you know that you have a terrible laugh. I'm just saying. You would think that would come up. I'm just saying. What's funny is that Krusty's seen the memes about the laugh. You know that Krusty is hip to the laugh. We have supposedly the greatest intelligence construct in the history of the world. and no one's like, Krusty, you should really reconsider the laugh. It's like, you would think somebody would let her know, but I guess not. No big deal. She's actually two beanbags in a pantsuit. Yeah. I mean, whatever. Pompeo. Whoa, Riley. Riley on Facebook's getting a little dicey. Woo. Yeah. So again, big ups to big techs, big ups to Florida, big ups to all of the places that are pushing and promoting freedom. I think that's a great thing. I find it fantastic that we're actually getting a little bit of freedom out here in the United States of America. And I hope that more places start to follow suit, because I think, generally speaking, people are pretty fed up with this. But I do find it greatly discouraging when places like Canada And even places in the United States are still pushing this fear mongering. Everything is garbage. Everyone's going to die. Everybody needs the juice. Bang, bang, bong. The world is trash. Fear, fear, fear. Shut down the gym. Don't work out. Don't exercise. Everything is garbage. Go alone. Sit at home in a pit of despair. Shed tears and die alone while you don't see your family, while you don't travel to places, while borders are closed in different countries around the world for absolutely no reason, when a restaurant can open up and then a restaurant can shut down, and then they buy all the food and then you can't serve it, and then they make you buy a plexiglass thing, buy an overglass piece of fabricated plexiglass, and then wear a face diaper, and then throw it into the ocean, and then a turtle eats the mask and dies, and then a bird swims and picks up the mask and then dies, and then the fish and the turtles are eating the straws, and everyone's eating masks, and it's a mask on a turtle, on a bird, on a fish. There's a pile of masks in the ocean the size of the state of Rhode Island. The world is absolute garbage, and nobody cares. It's like, oh, all right, cool. That seems fine. Let's just 2 weeks to slow the spread. 2 weeks to slow we need to reduce the amount of in the hospital. We need to reduce it in the hospital. It's like, yo. Meanwhile, a woman coughed on a person and did 30 days in prison for it. That seems dope. Totally fine. I mean, I'm not saying go cough on people. It's obviously stupid, but probably kind of weird. Everybody's out here forgetting. They're looking at all cases and cases and cases, not understanding how the tests are taken, not understanding what actually qualifies as a case, as they change the amount of multiplications that they multiply it through this test. Who the creator of the test, this PCR test, the creator said that that's not how you're supposed to use it. Yet that's how we're basing the policies of the entire planet. That seems fine. We know that they fudge and lie about the deaths. That seems fine. Nobody seems to care about that. They come out point blank and say, yeah, we lie about the deaths. This is exactly how we do it. That seems cool. No one seems to care about that. That seems totally fine. But whatever. No one wants to pay attention. That's fine. But meanwhile, in big techs, you just got 40,000 people just dancing outside and just enjoying their life, living their best life outside, dancing to music. And that is fine and great and awesome to me. And in the state of big techs, I did see a fair amount of diapers on people, which is mind blowing. But I did not see the vast majority of people wearing them, which was inspirational. And I was lucky enough that the entire time that I was in big techs, there was not a single time that I had to wear a diaper at any point throughout the entire weekend, which was amazing. And you go into a place like a hotel, and it's like half the people are some of the people wearing diapers, some of the people aren't. And it's like, nobody said anything. Nobody approached anyone. If you want to wear a diaper, wear a diaper. If you don't, okay, fine. But I just think that makes a lot of sense, and that's the way that it should be. And it was good. It was good to be in big tech. So big ups to the residents of big techs, because it was very free. Meanwhile, people can't gather with their family members. People can't go to nursing homes and see their aging grandparents. I can't use the steam room at the gym, but who cares about that? No one seems too concerned about stuff like that, as they just lie and change and move the goalposts and just trap everybody in just like an endless perpetual state of garbaggio and beanbaggery. But whatever, totally fine. So it's like, I just wanted to express my gratitude to the people of big techs and just let everybody know how inspirational it was seeing everybody out there just like raw dogging oxygen and being free. Meanwhile, people like Ian Smith in New Jersey are being threatened with jail time for the grave crime of opening his business so that people could exercise and stay healthy, which has objectively been found to help people prevent and ward off the effects of this supposed garbage virus. But whatever, who cares about that? Let's just keep people alone, home, lazy, sitting on the couch, eating White Castle and sugary donut rings as they get diabetes, cry, and die alone. As they watch LeBron James on Instagram and LeBron James on Twitter talking about which police officers he wants to target next, because he's a garbage merchant and a clueless, complete and utter, total, giant corporate shill garbaggio merchant, and he should be ashamed of himself, but he's not, because he doesn't care, because he's a low IQ individual. But whatever, let's just artificially hold LeBron James on a pedestal as he pumps Sprite and sugary aspartame juice into the youth of the people in his community. That seems fine. he seems like a trustworthy cat as he gets $1 billion from Nike as they exploit slave laborers in China to make worthless penny on the dollar sneakers for everybody to be overpriced through. Yeah, it seems fun. Everything is good. Pass me a McRib. Yeah. So, anywho, Pompeo will save America with a pineapple. Hold on one second. So, I really hope I get permission from Grandpa Joe to celebrate the 4th of July. What a moron. Agreeable. Justin Bieber. Everyone's consuming McBean bags. So again, the message, the wisdom, the whatever, the thought that I wanted to share is that despite the fact that things are very trashy and everything is on fire and they're continuing to lie to us, I kind of have this thought where I believe that I just genuinely believe that we're not dealing with people that are people with like honor and a soul. Because I think that the deception and the lies and the human suffering and the pain and the other bad things that are being put on the people and the citizens of Earth are so obvious at this point that I think that you either get it or you're just completely blind to it, or you just like are a complete follower sheep. And like I think that most people fall in the like unaware category. They're like, I just put on my diaper and this seems like bullshit, but you know, I really want to have just a good quarter pound American cheeseburger with my friends on July 4th. So I'm just gonna wear this diaper and listen to what Joe has to say. It's like, I just think that most people probably fall into that category where they're just like, yeah, everything's garbage, but like, I'll just follow the rule because nobody wants to take the time to stand out and say anything about it. Nobody wants to make the effort to go out and speak about it. Nobody wants to be on the wrong side of the discussion. Nobody wants the social discomfort that comes as a result of actually doing research and having critical thinking skills and stepping out and being open to people taking shots at you. That is the nature. That's the difference between leaders and followers, and everybody has leadership in them. The question is whether or not they dare to be great and dare to act upon it. And I'm not saying that you need to go out and lead the proverbial charge, but what I am saying is that at the very least, if you're not taking the time to talk about this and or support and or go to places that don't follow these insane rules, then it's just going to continue. So like, if you're considering taking a vacation anytime soon, I would highly recommend that you go to places like Big Tex and Big Flow and come to Big Ron's Kingdom and spend your hard-earned dollars raw dogging oxygen and being as free as possible, and take all of the money and the investment and the time away from all these places that are treating you like an animal. And speak up about it. Speak up about it with the people that you're around. And like, look, I'll admit it. Like, it's not easy all the time. When I go into a place and somebody haggles me, they're like, you got to wear a diaper. You can't get this, you can't get your fucking whatever you got to get. I'll admit it's fucking annoying. And sometimes you got to get what you got to get. And look, I put a diaper on here and there and I hate it, but it's like, and like, it's embarrassing to admit it, but it's the truth. It's like, sometimes I'm like, I gotta go here. I gotta get in here. And I don't want to be compliant, but it's like, sometimes I understand it, but the vast majority of times, unless more people don't start changing the way that they behave, we're screwed. So it's like, I'm gonna I'm being more aware and working harder to be less susceptible to those types of things and keep them in touch. Like, all right, I'll walk right out of this place, or are you going to make me do this, or I'm just going to not go there, or whatever. And I'm trying to get better at that, and that's a consistent effort. But I just think that what's happening to employees and people that are being forced to wear these diapers all day long, it's unhealthy. So it's like we got to stand up for our fellow citizens. And I think that all of this stuff lends itself to a greater message, which is that any rational human being that can see what happened in, I believe it was Columbus, Ohio, with the girl in the pink jumpsuit. I'm not going to say her name. You know who she is. It involved a knife. It involved the police. The situation with that is so obvious. It's so obvious. And to me, it is a perfect lesson for all of this stuff that's happening right now, which is that if you have a person, if you have a law enforcement officer that saves a woman's life from being stabbed to death, likely in front of her family in broad daylight with police officers right there, and he saves the other woman's life, and then you have people on the mainstream media and people on the news acting like this was the incorrect thing to do after he just saved a person's life, you're dealing with people that do not understand the basic fundamentals of what it means to be a rational human being with a soul. And these people have no honor. They should be ashamed of themselves. And to not sound like a total chooch, these people are disgusting, and they should be embarrassed for how fucking stupid they are. You are a piece of trash if you think that cop is in the wrong for what he did by saving that person's life. You are dumb. You are low IQ, and you should just keep your mouth shut, because you are a actual literal human clown. And that's the thing, that's what I'm saying about all this is, like, I think that generally speaking, when we walk out into the world, we think that most people have the same heart as us, that most people are as rational as us, that most people are good like us, generally speaking. And we assume that other people will be respectful in the way that we would think, that in the way that we would be. But what we fail to realize is that we're dealing with people that are mentally compromised, people that are woefully unaware of just anything having to do with the actual world and universe. They don't know themselves. They hate themselves. They lack critical thinking skills. And in a lot of ways, I think that it's sad. It's sad that they could be so stupid and so easily manipulated that they could then go and not only think such stupid things themselves, but then go and promote those things and act righteous and holier than thou, because they think that we should see it the way that they do. Like anyone that's like, she was 16 years old. She made TikTok videos. She has a really cute TikTok. It's like, shut up. You're a sad person. Like you need to do some soul searching, you bag of rice. How are you going to go on television and say that she was 16, she has a TikTok? Back when I was a kid, we used to always have knife fights. Look, I never got in a knife fight in my entire life. I bet the vast majority of people didn't get any childhood knife fights. These people are sick in the head, and they lack the basic understanding of how the world works. They have no honor. They're savages, and they're disgusting. And that's the thing. It's like, that's where it's like when you think about like people, like criminals don't follow the law. You know, it's like we follow the law because we don't want the punishment that comes as a result of not following the law. It's like most people don't kill people because they don't want to go to jail. Most people don't rob people because they don't want to go to jail. Most people don't do those things because they have a soul, because they don't want to sit in a prison cell like a caged animal. Most people are afraid of the consequences and also have respect and love for their fellow human beings of Earth, right? But criminals don't care about that. So you could look at a person that'll be like, yeah, and then I murdered them, or then I raped this person, or then I stabbed this person. These people These people are not on the same wavelength as us. These people are savage. They're disgusting, right? It's like you look at them and you're like, how could any rational human being just like murder a person? That's so insane. I can't even wrap my head around how insane somebody would have to be to do that. But what I'm saying is that there is a very slight difference between the mindset, and granted, it is multiplied and exacerbated. It is multiplied and exacerbated by sorry, my YouTube and Facebook stream just cut out for some reason. It looks like it's back. All right. So anyways, so what I was trying to say is that the mindset that goes into a person that is willing to rob a person, willing to beat a person up, willing to sexually assault a person, willing to kill a person, willing to invade a home, willing to do things that are just disgusting, take money, take payoffs in the form of money as being a politician at the expense of all the people, lock people down, do these really savage things. These people are not operating at the same wavelength as us. They're savage and they're mentally compromised, and I feel sad for them. So I think that what I'm realizing more and more with each passing day is that there's a variety of these people at different levels of the spectrum, from like base level, low level, I'm just not in tune with myself. I hate myself. I'm sad. I'm not happy. I don't have a basic understanding of how the world works. So like I'm a complete and total savage, and I'm willing to throw every single human being in the world under the bus because I don't care, because I'm greedy and all I want is power. So what I'm saying is that like there's a lot of people that are at varying degrees of this spectrum of craziness, this spectrum of soullessness, this spectrum of pure savagery. And I just think that that's what we kind of forget is I would never treat somebody like that. Therefore, how could somebody treat us like that? Well, one needs to look no further than like watch a crime show on TV, watch a crime show on Netflix, talk to a police officer about these people that like I remember I watched, there used to be a show called Cops before the world was woke and everybody was a garbage merchant. And they would show like real life or live PD or whatever. They would show like real life arrests, and like there'd be a guy like jacked up on crystal meth, like with his hands tied behind his back. That they were just chasing in a car. He just hit something. He had just killed a guy. He has a gun in his pocket. He just smoked crystal meth, and like his hands are cuffed behind his back, and the guy's like, and like you're looking at the person, you're like, this person is like an animal. It's like staring into like a soulless animal, eye, like a sunken eye with like nothing inside. And I just think that that's what we have to remember. Like that's the type of people that we're dealing with. But what we forget is that those people can hide inside a very, very nice and polished facade. It's a politician's body. It's a leader's body. It's a successful entrepreneur's body or whatever. And they hide in plain sight, and they're getting better and better and better at disguising themselves. And it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. So I think that that's the thing that I'm reminded of when I go to places like big techs. And then you go on TV and you see in the country of Canada that you can't even move from province to province. Like you can't do anything. Like you have to go into a government sanctioned it's sad. And it's just like these people are sick in the head. And it's just like the same type. Like you don't have to be a person that is a serial murderer or whatever, or serial killer, or a serial like somebody that robs people. Like you can have that same sick and twisted mindset, but you get your rocks off on other things like power over people, like destruction of people, like destruction of freedom and humanity, like all these horrible things that are just the same way. Like there's like there's people that talk about, like, for example, like sexual assault. They're like, oh, it wasn't even sexual. It's about power. It's about power. It's like, I can't even wrap my head around that. 99.9% of rational, sane men, for example, they can't even wrap their head around. Like, how could you do that to a person? How could you do that to a woman? How could you be so sick and savage that you need that power? Well, in the same way that we can't understand that, as we see women, beautiful, delicate, and powerful, strong women, and then it's just like, how could you do that to a human being, let alone a woman? It's insane. But the point is that like they can look right past that to satisfy their own need. And in the same way, a politician and a leader and a person that has a lot of money and a person that has like a lot of greed and power, or the people that theoretically run the world, they have that exact same mindset, but they get their rocks off different things. Like one of the things that really, really kind of surprised me was like when I learned that there are wealthy CEOs out there that pay women to kick them in the balls. I mean, this is a real thing. People, they pay a woman, a dominatrix, whatever, to handcuff them and kick them in the ball sack. And like, I can't imagine why I would want anyone to kick me in the ball sack, let alone pay a person to kick me in the ball sack. Yet there are people that find satisfaction in that. There's people that like feet. Like, I'm not a big foot person, but I get it. People like feet. Okay, fine. But what I'm saying is, like, just because we can't see it in ourselves, we can't rationalize it, doesn't mean that it's not happening. So in the same way that there's a guy out there probably on your block that enjoys getting kicked in the balls by a high-heeled shoe, conversely, there's this politician in a nice shiny suit that's willing to destroy any shred of humanity for his own, for his or her own sick and twisted desire for power. And if we could only remember that there are people like that, if we could only remember that those people exist, in a lot of ways, those people are in the halls of power, and that in a lot of ways, those people follow a very predictable path to success and power by going to their family meets these people, they donate to these organizations, they follow this path, they go to this school, they get this degree, they work at this law firm, they blow this dude, they follow this process, they get in this position and then this position, and then they toe the line and tug the beanbag and make their way up the ladder of power until they get to the point where they are anointed into the next position of power, where all the people that took them up along the way, all the people that made them and anointed them with that power to begin with, all of those people are like, gotcha now, bitch. Now you owe me, son. Now you owe me. Crust, for example. So it's like, we're not dealing with sane people. We're not dealing with rational people. We're not dealing with people that are operating at the same wavelength as us. We're not dealing with people that don't live very sad lives and hate themselves. And that's the thing, is like, we have to remember that. It's like, I'll leave my front door unlocked. Like, who would be so savage that they would come in here and rob my house? Like, fact of the matter is, there's a lot of people that think that way because they're sick in the head. They hate themselves. Their life is garbage, and they're merchants of actual human trash. And that's the thing. That's who we're dealing with. So I just want everybody to keep that in mind, because there's some sick and twisted people out there, and they do lots of really weird, horrible things. So to think that somehow it's going to equate to all these very bad things, but now the people in the halls of power, because they're wearing a nice shiny suit and they have a pin on, and their name is Pete Boo, or whatever, or John, or like they're pumping ketchup around the world. It's just like, these people are trash and they're sick in the head. So that's who we're dealing with. And that's why we need to not be wearing diapers in as many possible ways as we can. We have to promote freedom, support states, and support people that push and support and endorse freedom, and go to places that have freedom and speak up for all the people that are being manipulated and destroyed at all costs, which is sick and sad and twisted, and everything is trash. So with that being said, so I know that I haven't made a video in a couple of days. It's about to be 11 o'clock. I know that I haven't made a video in a couple of days because I was out at FitCon noodling at the music festival, dancing and stuff. My cousin's coming to town, so I have a busy week this week as well. But I will be definitely making more videos, and I'll be definitely getting back on the old horn here, you bags of garbage. But I just wanted to come on and talk about that, because I do think that it's absolutely necessary for us to be more aware of this and speaking up about it more. I know that's the message that I'm always saying on here, but tickle my bag, everything's garbage, twist me into a pretzel and push me off a bridge. So yeah. So anywho, big thanks to everybody. Thank you to everybody that bought the badges on here. I do appreciate that. MC George 44, thank you so much. Fufu Mal, Blonde Majesty, Ryan Big Ray Fozzie, Jorge Fruit, Leo's the Lion, Fuzzy Koala Bear, Jen Lisa 80, Arjon 1602, Sita 8911, Meals of Steel, and Mark Life, and Jay Cook. Thank you guys on Instagram for the badges. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm getting some really great attendance on these lives. I'm really appreciating it. It seems like every time there's more people on YouTube and Facebook. We got almost 100 people on YouTube and Facebook, over 100 on here. So we're pretty strong on the over 200s pretty consistently on here, despite the time of the day. And this one I know wasn't announced either. So I hope that you know how much I appreciate that. So I'm going to keep this one short. I think that the shorter ones are more likely to be consumed by people the next day. Doesn't mean I'm going to change how I behave. It doesn't mean I'm going to make these shorter at all. But I will do that today. I have to be up early in the morning, so I will do that. People on Facebook, yo, the last live I caught late was 100% on point. Keep it up. Thank you guys. And I assume I wouldn't be surprised if Billy makes an appearance this week. He's been waiting to come out of his old shell, and just excited to be back in Florida and just yelling and screaming and all of that stuff. So, anywho, Facebook, YouTube, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I will see you soon. Thank you very much.